Hi guys, Roxanne, Tiny Home Living here. Just wanted to do a quick little video today. Actually Chris went to the lumberyard, a family-owned place that we've been dealing with, and got my tongue and groove for the interior walls today. I really don't like buying all of this material and the things that I need for the tiny home out of order, which, like, by that I mean not in the order that we're going to be using them for the tiny house. But of course we all know that we're sort of living in extraordinary times right now. The cost of lumber, we already talked about that. Like, I got my lumber from an old guy close to here. I've been watching a site to find my kitchen stove, like this one here, the off-grid unique propane range. I was about to order it. It was gone from the site. It says out of stock everywhere. It popped back onto the site. I was about to order it and I didn't get it done that day. Went back in to order it and it was gone again. So, and a lot of the ranges on the site say out of stock, 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 all down the pages. So I don't know if it's parts that they're having trouble getting, what the problem is. But normally I wouldn't be buying my appliances or my tongue and groove interior wood at this time, but I'm kind of scrambling and just trying to get whatever I can, and it's a pain in the neck because you end up having to move it over and over again. It's in the way. The range I'm going to have to leave outside with a tarp over it in the box that it comes in because I have nowhere to store this stuff. The tongue and groove that Chris picked up today, we don't want to pile it on top of the lumber because we're going to need the lumber first, and I absolutely hate having to move stuff over and over and over again because it's in the way. Done that so many times on construction sites. You know, a pile of plywood's in the wrong place or a pile of lumber's in the wrong place when you go to finish your walls or put your walls up or whatever. So I really hate doing it like this, but I'm simply scrambling to buy what I know I'm going to need when I can get it, rather than when in the order that I'm going to be using it. And again, like I said, normally, especially when you have no place to store stuff because you're in a tiny house or whatever, we do have the old sea can that we've used for storage, but there's still a lot of furniture in there and things that we need to sell and get rid of that are just, you know, the scale of the furniture is for a big home, not a tiny house. So it's causing a few problems with this, you know, just because of the times we're living in right now. But I actually had the tongue and groove held for me because I know the owner of this lumberyard, so I'm counting my blessings that I'm even able to get it. She said she didn't know when she would even be able to be getting more. So it's not even a matter of price sometimes, it's a matter of not being able to get what you need to get construction done or even started. So I got the tongue and groove. Actually, the stuff she had put aside, Chris and our neighbor that went to pick it up declined it. The stuff that had been put aside for me had a V-groove in the middle, and I didn't want that. And it was dried and warped and split and everything. So there was some in the shed, like in regular stock, and they ended up looking at that. This is the nice thing too about it being a family-owned business, and you know, getting to know the guys that work in the lumberyard and that work in the shop and everything. So anyhow, we're going to go outside and look at the wood that he got, and we actually have to put some skids over on the other side of the storage sea cans and find some place to put it and tarp it and keep it out of the rain and the weather and everything, and out of our way. So let's go have a look at that and see what we got. It cost an absolute fortune too. Just ridiculous prices. But nothing you can do. You want it, you pay for it. So this is the tongue and groove. There's 16 footers, and you can see how clean, like this stuff hasn't been sitting around too long, and that's the thing with everything selling so quickly. At least you're getting stuff that hasn't sat around and is, you know, all split and dirty. And now this, I can see right now, is different than the other stuff we had. Oh no, that's the back side. I'm looking at the back side. You can see how you've got the... Yeah. So you've got the nice bevel on there. So this is really nice looking stuff. Again, like I say, getting to know the people you're dealing with. This family that owns the lumber yard has been a blessing. There's some 8-footers here too. We had to get some 8-footers to make up the number of lineal feet that we needed. So anyhow, really happy with this stuff. And of course, this is only enough to do the first of the 40-footers. So we're gonna have to be watching and waiting to get. Now the good thing is this will have time to acclimatize, and even though I don't really want it outside, once we get the framing done, I might put it inside the tiny house to acclimatize inside it for a while, because it does, we have found over and over again, it does shrink an awful lot. Now this is 6-inch. The stuff we used in the first tiny house was 8-inch, so of course you're getting more shrinkage. So this way, with the 6-inch, you get less shrinkage than with the 8-inch, so that was good. Now my greenhouse, you can see some of the strawberry plants are actually getting burnt, and I think it's too hot in here. I keep coming in forgetting to come in and open the door, but look at that. Got red strawberries in here. Crazy. These plants were so healthy, and I think, like I said, I might have burnt them. There are a lot of strawberries on the plants. Look at that little pepper already. And there will be a pepper wherever there's a blossom. So these are 2 different species of gooseberries that I bought the other day in town. And my basil is still growing. I haven't been able to find herbs. And then again, the little pepper plants. I gotta get these blueberries outside and planted too. But today we do have to get that lumber unloaded and get the trailer back to Bob. It's Bob, our neighbor's trailer. And give him his trailer back. He needs it for something. And I think what we're gonna do, we got a long skid kind of like this over on the other side of the sea can, so we're gonna put the tongue and groove over there. So I gotta put the camera away and get my arson gear. You can see where we've dragged the chicken tractor, and you can see the little tufts of grass where they haven't been eating. And then Chris cut the grass over here just this morning. It's a little bit chilly. I'm gonna go get my jacket. But we had snow for a couple days, so we had to hang a light in here. My goodness, these guys are getting so big so fast. It's only going to be a couple of weeks till we slaughter them and put them in the freezer. And then we're going to order a couple more. But you can see there's no limit to the grass that they have access to. So this is going to be awesome for the chickens. And for the meat in the freezer. We planted a couple more little trees up here, so there's 5 now. And then this coming week we're going to go get another load of trees to get planted here. The garden's going to get tilled one more time because we added the shavings from the chickens again, so it's going to make it that much nicer. And then Bob is going to bring his harrow to drag it so it's a little bit smoother. And then we're going to have to get that ground cloth down so that we can get the garden planted, and then we can finally get around to starting on the tiny house. The chickens are happy. Chris threw a couple bags of grass in there for them. And like I said, we are thinking maybe another chicken tractor for the laying hens as well, since we have lots of places to put them. But they're enjoying this. I can't see the rooster right now. I don't know if he's outside. Rusty, we're calling him. Rusty the rooster. I know, not too creative, but these guys are getting big really fast too, and I am so looking forward to having fresh eggs. There's that bad little dog over there sniffing where the compost was. See if she can get into some trouble. Where's our rooster? I don't see him. He usually comes when he hears our voice. It certainly comes when he hears Chris's voice. So, and some of them are actually starting to jump up into the nesting boxes now. So that's good. So there you go, guys. These lumber tarps are brand new because they were on the lumber today, so they're don't have too many holes in them. I put 2 on here because this is finishing lumber, and then we got some of the heavy framing wood that I got holding the tarps on, and that'll keep it out of the weather for now. Like I said, a pain in the neck to have to store a big pile of wood like this, but lucky to have it. And like I said before, tarps, if you can grab some tarps at the lumber yard, they can come in handy for so many things. We even use some of this to screen in the bottom of the chicken tractor. So just looked over and noticed this too. I didn't realize this. This plant has got 3, 4, 5 that I can see at least peppers on it already. I think these are the long red sweet peppers, and I hope so because I love eating those just as a snack with some dip, of course. Us chubby girls like our dip. But that's pretty exciting too. I paid $8 for this plant, half price, and I think because of the leaves, I don't know if it got a little bit of heat or cold. But that's the other pepper plant that I did from seeds, so not so exciting. Be a while before I get peppers out of these babies, but always open to trying it, you know. And the basil's growing a little bit more leaves every day. These little boxes, I don't know, they're either too wet or too dry, so real excited about the gooseberry plants. The difference a couple of days makes for the rhubarb. They're just bursting with leaves there. Something is eating them, so I'm going to have to spray them. I might make a homemade spray. I've actually made stuff in the past out of rhubarb leaves. But these all have fresh stuff coming out from down here. Bob and Rita already have rhubarb that they're cooking with. So there's some water laying. Chris is thinking about doing a dugout around this old dead willow. You can see those little trees we planted. A couple of them are actually sitting in water. So we've got to stake it out and dig around that old willow tree and figure out what because then all this water will drain into there instead of laying all over the place. I want to plant my blueberry plants along here, I think, but that's not going to happen with this much water laying here. And I think he's going to drag the harrow across here too. But this hill here is actually quite high, and this is the north side. On the other side, the south side, we're actually thinking about if we can get a friend to come with a skid steer and do an underground greenhouse there, and maybe even a root cellar on this side where you sort of dig into the side of the hill. So that would be a really fun project, I think. But then I am just a little bit crazy. I think I'm going to, wasn't planning on it, but I think this grass is so long now and kind of out of control already because of the rain we just had. So I think I'm going to go get my rubber boots on and a cooler top and come out and get this grass cut around all the fruit trees. So now we staked these because they kept blowing over. So I won't be able to do in there. I used to just pull them to one side and then to the other side, but I won't be able to do that. And then I think the next thing I'm going to do is start raking up this mess in here and getting it burned, because I want the hammock in there. And it's kind of like, you know, when your kids were little and you told them they had to eat their vegetables before they got dessert. This is the vegetables. I got to get all this crap done. And then once all the crap is done, I get to do the fun stuff, like building a tiny house. So, like I said before, all this stuff has to be done. It's just going to make it that much harder to rake all this stuff up that I've cut once the grass starts growing through it. And it's already getting pretty long just because of that couple days of rain that we had. So, got to get that done. Going to cut the grass just in this little square we call the orchard. And then start raking up some of the stuff that I've cut. And of course down at that end there's a lot more deadfall because I didn't clean the deadfall out of that part. And if the wind doesn't blow too hard, I might even try and get this pile burned today. So the blossoms are all coming out on this little cherry tree. This one might actually, they look a little pink, so that might actually be a pretty one. And you can see, like I said before, now that the leaves are coming out, you can see all these saplings that I went around when I came in here with the DR string trimmer. So there's a couple nice sized ones there, and then some little tiny ones in through there. And that's what you want to do, is keep that new growth coming, because these things die off and rot pretty quick. And again, I'll be really happy when we get some more little evergreens like this planted in here. Doesn't take too much to get me excited, and I just was watering these gooseberry plants, and there's two little bunches of gooseberries on there that I can see. This one has red ones, Captivator gooseberry. So I'm assuming they're going to be red because the ones in the picture are red. These are pretty healthy looking plants. This here is all new growth since brought them home last week and put them in the sun. Well, they were out in the rain, pouring rain for a couple days, and there's a new shoot coming out at the bottom of this one. So yeah, this one's got gooseberries. I didn't notice them when I picked up the plant, so pretty excited about this. But this here is all new growth at the end of every branch. This one hasn't done that, but I think there is some tiny ones here, new growth at the end, just not as much as the other one. This is sort of the standard gooseberry, the green ones, and that's the red. What is this called? High yielding gooseberry, and that one there is a Captivator gooseberry. So I've watered the blueberry plants and I've put them outside in the sun too. Like I said, this is new blossoms popping out. Those actually look like they're going to turn into blueberries. Lots of blossoms on this plant. And I think wherever there's a blossom, that's where the berries pop out. Like I said, I do not have a green thumb. My grandma got that, not me. So, but I'm pretty excited about these plants. Look at this garden dirt, guys. This is the second year. Last year, Chris basically just picked a patch of grass and tilled it. And we've been adding compost, and of course this year we got lucky and got the sheep manure from Bob and Rita, and we've added the, a few layers of the shavings from the chickens. But look at the soil now. This is going to be an amazing garden this year, I hope. And it's really fluffy and light as well. I think Chris added sand last year because it was so dense and somebody had said to add sand. So there's been quite a bit added to it. And you can see how dark it is. Now the reason he's doing this right now is because Bob's coming up with the harrow. So he's tilling this in right now, and then Bob's going to bring the harrow up to smooth it out for us. And then that'll be it. That's it. The ground cover's going on after that. So, but man, I can't believe the difference in this soil this year. That is just amazing compared to what I mean, I don't have any pictures or footage of it last year, but you could see all the grass and clover and everything mixed in it, and branches from the trees and all kinds of stuff, whereas this is really awesome looking soil now. You can see how dense, and of course we just had some really good rain, but that's really good stuff. Get run over by the tractor here. Couldn't have been happier to get all that rain right after planting these trees. I think, look at the buds have popped out even since we planted them a few days ago before the rain. So again, awesome timing. These buds haven't popped yet, but they're going to. So all of these trees have fresh buds on them, and just couldn't have been better timing with getting the rain. They're all so healthy. These trees are so healthy. And again, we're going to go good amount of buds on this one. I just wanted to get a couple shots of this garden soil. I was just amazed when he started tilling it. Can't believe what it looks like compared to last year. I wish I had a comparison to show you, but I don't, because I was just in the process of moving here last year, and so much turmoil, and so wow. Anyway, and we're just going to keep adding the chicken shavings and droppings now, and some sheep manure, and I think it should just get better all the time. We had the ash from when we burn the trees and stuff too. I've heard that's really good, so any of that kind of organic matter, we just keep adding it. So, and we compost everything. Of course, the chickens just got some romaine lettuce, of course, but everything else gets, we added a lot of compost to the garden this year. So, anyway, couldn't be happier about this soil. Not sure if I mentioned, but I'm a little bit of a firebug. Any reason to have a fire, any excuse to have a fire, I'm all over that like white on rice. So got around to lighten up this brush pile that I dragged out of the woods, and some of the straw that was in the raised bed. Got the whole tree area here mowed, and so that looks really good. You can see the rhubarb a lot easier, and the best part is I didn't know which canes to cut on the raspberries, so I just mowed them all down. And now because the grass is growing, I can see suckers all through here that I didn't know were there before. So I was going to mow in between, but you can see there's suckers everywhere. I guess I missed that one. But yeah, I didn't even know these had sent out suckers, and they're really thick. They're, you know, a lot better than what I thought. There's even some in the middle of the row. So I've got a bunch of different raspberries planted here. Ouch! Ow, ow, ow. So look how thick this one is. I mean, they all look dry and dead to me, so rather than picking which ones to cut, there's some more little suckers. There's a little tiny frog. I don't know what kind of frog that is, but at least he didn't get mowed. So yeah, this is way better than I expected to have so many suckers here from the raspberry plants. They're all outside the rows, so they have spread, and I didn't realize that I was going to mow this all down again, but I won't. So again, look at my fire. This is a tiny, 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 tiny little bonfire compared to what I used to light up in Ontario. So burns down really quick, and the reason I'm doing it today, I usually check the flag out front. They're drooped completely, there's no wind. And although we had the rain and the grass is really green now, there is still quite a bit of dry stuff out there. And of course you don't want to take a chance on doing it when it's really dry or really windy. So today just happens to be a perfect day to light that up. Of course, any day is a perfect day to have a fire as far as I'm concerned. The bigger the better. When we were in Ontario, that old sea can was parked at the front of the property, and we had a fire that was so big that you could see it 10 feet above the sea container. I can't believe the fire department wasn't called. But anyway, you call the fire department, you say, yeah, I'm burning a little bit of brush today. And I was. It was just more than a little bit. Anyway, I've got to rake all of the crap out of here and get that burned, and then start going down that way. But again, like I say, it doesn't take much to get me excited. And when I saw how many suckers there were from the raspberry plants, I really didn't think they had done much of anything. The canes were all dead. Everything looked dead. You can see where I cut these all down, and really didn't think this was going to amount to anything. And I've got like colored ones, yellow ones. I don't know what the species are called, but again, like I say, it doesn't take much to get me excited. Raspberries, suckers is pretty much it. Very exciting. Rhubarb is very exciting. So, another good day. Good day. Now, I just had a shower, washed my hair, and I'm all gross and sweaty and dirty and smoky now. So, the neighbor came and ran through the garden with his harrow. He's out there. He must be 65 or 70, and he's out there like a little kid doing twirlies with the fancy little side-by-side machine he's got. And I'll just keep an eye on that fire. Trying to make it look like they're working, but you know, man, he's really just, he's playing and calling it work. But the garden is really nice and flat and absolutely perfect for putting the ground cover down now, because it was pretty bumpy, pretty hard to get it nice and flat with the tiller. So now it's flat and ready for the ground cover. So now that I've got the grass cut back there in the fruit tree area, this is the ground cover we're putting on this garden, and it's 6 feet wide. A lot of it that I found was 3 feet wide. So this is just going to be less seams, less spiking it down, less work, and Make it a lot easier, I think. I don't know how much I got. I think I got way more than what we needed. But that way if you expand the garden, then you've got lots. So more is better. Yeah, I'm a more is better kind of girl too. So now the flag is flying a little bit now. It wasn't a few minutes ago, but everything changes here so quickly. So I will go and keep an eye on that fire, and I'll maybe drag the hose out there too. I don't think I'm gonna need it. It burns down so quick because that stuff's all so dead. But I'll drag the hose out there just in case. Chris gets really freaked out. He's always trying to discourage me from lighting fires because he knows what I'm like. But I love to make fires. I'm actually clearing all the brush out of here and all the deadfall. For me, it's hard, sweaty, dirty, grubby work, but I get to make another fire. Anyway, have a nice day, guys. Thanks again, guys, for joining in, and like and subscribe. Follow along with us, and it won't be too long now before we get started on the tiny house. But you know, the homestead, no matter what size it is, everybody knows there's just no end to the work you have to do. Even, you know, spending this time, you know, half a day going to get some lumber, and then a couple hours finding a place to put it and restacking it and that sort of thing. There's just always something to do. So that's just the way it is when you live on a homestead and when you live off grid, and when you're trying to grow your own food. So anyhow, thanks again. Like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow along with us. Thanks, guys. See you next time.